All right, so I'm going to go over how to configure and use the MCP server that comes with Unreal Engine 5.8. The first thing we're going to need to do is go to this plugins folder, and we're going to search for MCP, and we need to enable that. So yes, that needs to be enabled. This other one, the MCP client tool set, not so much. I don't know exactly what that one does yet. Terminal, we're going to want this one so that we can run Claude in here. That's good. And then this next one is a big one. Um, editor tool set. So this is the AI Tool Set Registry that's used, so it's allowed to edit blueprints, actors, properties. So if you don't enable this one, the MCP server will be there, but it won't be able to do anything. So now we got the three of those ready. We're good to go. I'm gonna restart and restart twice. All right. So editor plugins. The first thing we're gonna want to do is search for model context. Nope, I don't want to be in plugins. I want to be in edit, editor preferences, and model context protocol. So this is the port number we're going to use. This slash URL is going to be like HTTP localhost FTP 800 auto start server. This is unchecked by default. You want to check that. Enable the tool search as well, so you can search those tools. That's the tools that you see on there. So both checkboxes 800 slash MCP. Now you're going to want to create an MCP.json. The documentation in the release notes has some stuff on that. If you do authentication or agentic development, you should know how that works. But they make it easy for you over here. You just go to CMD. There's a console command. Um, it's just URL here for the Unreal MCP editor documentation. So you can generate for whichever thing you're using. I'm going to do it this way. So we're going to use Claude Code for this example. All right, that ran. What did that do? That created this MCP.json. So now if I CLS, this is just a terminal window inside of VS Code. I like to use this with Claude Code or whatever I'm doing for different reasons. Um, if I say Claude, all right, now I'm going to do slash MCP and Unreal MCP connected three tools. What's interesting is it starts with only three tools, but they grow. List tools, describe tools, call tool, right? All right, so we're connected. Now we're going to say what lights are in our level. It's using MCP, doing its things. So there's two lights in our level. That is correct. That's pretty good. We can look at the level. It's just the person level. Let's see what we can do. How does enhanced input work in our game? All right, so that's it. I'll let that run and ask a question. And while that's running, I'm gonna do something else. So the other thing you want to set up is your terminal. Go to editor, editor preferences. Okay, tool set registry, general terminal, startup commands. You need to add these two startup commands. One of them should point to where your game is running. Um, and that is also in the instructions over here somewhere, right there. So you need this command and this one, but you put the path to where your game is. In my case, it's e repo person 57. So once you set those up, now you can go in here, you can go to tools, terminal, I'll dock the terminal over here on this side. Maybe not. I'd really like it instead of this Ask AI. I'd like it here, but I can't do that. So we're gonna dock it on this side, I guess. And then we have our level outliner. And now we run Claude. Boom. Now we have Claude configured in here. So, and this is just Claude in the repo. So this could write code from here and stuff like that. You could do everything from here, really. And that would be nice for a lot of people, I feel like. Make this guy red. I'm really glad they put this terminal here. This is probably my favorite feature so far. There's already a ton of MCP surface, but there you go. The sky is red. Um, Interesting thing, we started with 3 tools over here. It tells you how everything looks. Um, I'm going to do 2 things. First, I'm going to say we're going to test it out. We're going to try MCP. And now Unreal still says only 3 tools. So that's interesting. It used to grow the tool context. It's not doing that anymore. Um, can you implement a double jump that jumps twice as high as the normal jump that is bound to the big key using enhanced input? I'm not going to ask it, can you? I'm just going to tell it to do it. Do it. Well, that's doing that. Um, I tested this earlier and I had it make a UFO. So we open our UFO blueprint. I still just make a UFO. You look at UFO with some flashing lights. It was what I was pretty much what I was thinking. Um, so it's able to open it, and you've got some methods in here that make the lights flash. It aligned them pretty well. Let's see. Um, I gotta not type here. Put the UFO in our level so it can fly around. This feels pretty good. It's a lot better. Every time I tested this, it's been better and better. I gotta dig into this asset editor piece and see what is and isn't there for methods. My thought is if I have stuff built into my existing MCP server that can fill some gaps, I'll put those in there. If not, that's okay. I'll move on to other things in life. Um, but we're gonna see. UFOs in the level hovering at 400, 1,000 feet, right? All right. So I don't, well, this one's does reference to 3 actions that happen to escape properties isn't there. Yeah, you found the limitation of IMC mouse likely. So I think what you might see is like to use their MCP, but import other people's tools for agentic things that they are not yet built out is what I think you're going to see for plugins. So you're probably still going to want editor tool set plugins. I don't think you're going to want an MCP plugin. And depending on how fast and what the adoption rate is on this MCP server, you know what I mean? They might add a lot more tools here quickly, like in 5.8.1, 5.8.2, 5.8.3. So maybe the need to have these agentic tools will go away. We'll see. And I don't know if in the fab, this is another question. Editor tool sets. Yeah, I don't know if any of these tool sets would work already. I don't think so. Let me open up add folder to workspace. Unreal Engine UE5.8. So this is Unreal Engine 5.8. All right, now I'm going to let this Claude do its thing, and I'm gonna go with this one. I don't see it. View chat. All right, chat Claude Code. So this is Claude Code 2. It's not connected. Oh, maybe it is actually. Slash MCP. Unreal MCP. Yep, it's connected as well. I don't this one disable. Um, so that's good. So it can also tell me from here what lights are in my room. Well, it can. I'm not going to do that though. What I'm going to do is we got the UE5.8 source code. So there's a editor preset again that gives AI tools to the MCP server in the UE5-8 repo. Let's explore what those tools look like and how to tag them. So you can make custom tools that show up in the discover and the MCP server. Some of this is also, I think, in the documentation as well. So I'm just gonna feed that to Claude as well. So and the box as well. So this is cool. I like a first class integrated server. I don't know if I would like code mode instead of doing a bunch of tool calls. Like I kind of might like a code mode feature, which I might throw in there so it can just execute scripts and do a lot of things at once instead of calling tool, call after calling tool after calling tool. That might be something I add in here. We'll see. My inner chat is definitely going away. That was kind of getting limited anyway, and I like this terminal feature much better. We were looking at developing this, so I'm glad they put that in there. The other thing, I got to look at these tools as well and see what they have for like memory inside the editor tools and how it's tracking things and looking things up. But so far, I like it. Uh, I did this time. One other trick I would say, which I'm going to do. Uh, so there's some problems. It can't read and write enhanced input properly. I don't know how that's going to work because when I looked at the source code, there were like literally empty methods in here, and it says there's still empty methods. So I'm a little worried that like I'll go and make my own methods to extend things, and then there's empty methods. And how's the AI supposed to know if it uses the empty method or my method? I guess skills could teach it that. Um, but that's the thing. So in here, uh, so there you go. I made this UFO that's flying around in the level, flashy lights, kind of cool. Um, oh, what else did it do? Can I still run around? I can still run around. The spacebar jumps. It did not make the J key jump like I asked it to. So the reason I like this chat over here is I can select a file and it knows it as context. So rather than have to tell it to cd go grab a file, I just say, hey, this file right here. I can click and boom, click, boom. And I can add multiple files in a whole folder to the chat. And when I work with like 6 different repos at once, it makes my life easier. See if this is gonna work. Oh, well, that's doing that. This thing is still reading. Bypass. See AI Callable. You can put AI Callable on your functions, and then it's going to know that this is a tool that I can use. So discovery registration. So tagging makes it eligible. Registering the tool set class makes it discoverable. So it sounds like it's a two-part system. In your module startup, call the registry from editor tools up. These. Okay, so quickly this. How to build MCP tools in file. So I'm going to save that for later. I'm going to refactor my existing tools to support that. I'm going to get rid of tools that I don't need, and then I'll make a decision if I have a 5.8 version or if 5.8 just goes away or whatever that is. Cool. Uh, Let me debug this. I mean, this making the J key do something is not really. I don't know. I feel like that's not working. It's taken a long time. That shouldn't have been too hard. But that's that. That's cool. All right, later.